Well, hello there. That battery can last up to 24 hours even with the always-on display turned on. It's pretty cool. We will provide a detailed explanation of the 25th verse from Chapter 1, Prathamopadesha, Rasamarana, of the Rasaratnakara Rasayankhand.
Okay, let's look at our agenda. First, we'll cover the Sanskrit verse, then move on to the linguistic breakdown. After that, we'll explore Parasiddha and the alchemical process, followed by guidelines and cross-references, and finally, we'll wrap up with modern science and our conclusion.
The Sanskrit verse. So, taking a look at this original text authored by Sri Nityanatha Siddha, we can specifically pinpoint verse 25. This section right here is absolutely crucial. It acts as our foundational blueprint, introducing the precise, step-by-step methods for taking raw mercury, which is referred to in these classical texts as parada or rasendra, and alchemically transforming it into a highly specialized medicine.
Section 2. Linguistic breakdown.
Now, you might be wondering, how do we actually decode all this ancient terminology? Well, this table is kind of like our decoder ring. We use Padasheda, which is word segmentation, and Anvaya, or prose order, to extract the literal meanings of the text. For instance, Parashada literally translates to purified mercury. Gandhaka is sulfur, and Puta refers to the intense heating process used. By breaking it down exactly like this, we can clearly identify the specific botanical juices, the exact measurements, and the sulfur additions needed before we literally even light the fires.
Section 3. Parada and alchemical process.
The really important thing to understand here is that the text is absolutely not talking about raw elemental mercury, like what you'd find in an old thermometer. No way. Instead, it specifically focuses on Samuchaya Parada and Vasana Mushita Parada. You can think of these as highly processed, purified, alchemical states. Back in the Tantric philosophical era of Sri Nityanatha Siddha, these rigorous purification steps were completely mandatory. Why? Because they were specifically designed to drastically reduce the metal's natural toxicity and turn it into a safe, bioavailable therapeutic agent.
Let's actually walk through this fascinating transformation step by step. First, the parada is triturated, basically ground down, with very specific botanical substances and sulfur. Step 2 is the pulada, which is a highly controlled incineration process done inside a sealed apparatus. Then comes Step 3, the Agni Samskara, or fire processing. This is where meticulous temperature management literally catalyzes the chemical change. And finally, Step 4 is the extraction and dosage preparation. So as you can see, this isn't just mixing ingredients in a bowl. It represents a highly sophisticated ancient laboratory system.
Section 4. Guidelines and cross-references.
Producing this medicine is only half the battle, because the text actually dictates extremely strict administration guidelines. You absolutely cannot just casually consume these preparations. There are incredibly precise, minute dosage requirements to follow. On top of that, it mandates a strict, wholesome diet known as pathya. Specifically, the patient is required to consume mung yusha, which is a green gram soup, and udon, or boiled rice. This specific diet supports the body while the medicine targets the ailments. But it goes beyond just the physical. The texts also heavily emphasize atonement methods and mental purification, which really highlights a deeply holistic mind-body approach to healing.
And the best part? We don't just have to take one single text's word for it. Verse 25 aligns perfectly with identical classical claims found across several other foundational works. Whether we're looking at Chapter 11 of the Rasarnava, Acharya Somadeva's Rasandra Chudamani, the Rasahiridaya Tantra, or texts like Ayurveda Prakasha and Bhava Prakasha, the methodologies are strikingly consistent. This really proves that these intricate metallic preparations were highly standardized and, essentially, peer-reviewed within the classical Rasa Shastras traditions.
Section 5. Modern Science and Conclusion.
So what does this all mean for us today? Well, this brilliantly illustrates the intersection of ancient history and modern science. Objectively speaking, modern toxicology correctly identifies raw heavy metals as highly hazardous. Yet there's some fascinating contemporary research in databases like PubMed suggesting that the intense Puta and Agni Samskara processes might actually convert these metals into stable organometallic nanoparticles. We have to impartially weigh these perspectives. We honor the historical, sacred alchemy and recognize what modern nanotechnology seems to support, while also clearly identifying what claims remain unverified and still require rigorous clinical trials.
On behalf of the Vedmata AI family, we humbly request that if you found our presentation informative, please share our video widely so that authentic knowledge from Indian Vedic texts can reach the masses. Let us all come together to participate in this Jnana Yajna, sacrificial offering of knowledge. Har Har Mahadev.